A round of civil wars ultimately led to the emergence of a new strongman who vanquished all his foes and became a king-like figure, the emperor, a system that would persist for the rest of Roman history. The first of these emperors was a grandnephew of Julius Caesar, grandnephew of Julius Caesar.
Is he being freaking serious right now? He just literally said that the Roman Republic was taken down, and it had, it was basically Caesar, who was basically the monarchy at the time, right? The emperor. And the Roman Empire took over. Totally, completely, no monarchy here, no. He just said he was his grandnephew or something like that. It was his nephew. It was his relative, for God's sakes. The bloodline continued. It wasn't that the Roman Republic fell and the Roman Empire rose. I mean, that's true, that happened. But the people in charge were the same bloodline. Again, the same blood. Why doesn't he see that this happens over and over? It's all about the bloodline. These things where you see the society go up and then the society collapses. Society goes up, society collapses. You think it's a different monarchy. You think it's a different aristocracy. You think it's a different democracy. Oh, it's all different, whatever. Well, how come the bloodline seems to keep following, keep staying the same even till today? You saw how all the first 4 presidents, the first 4 vice presidents, the first, I even threw a first lady in there, the first Secretary of Treasury. This trend goes on with everything. 10% of the Supreme Court in the whole history of our country so far, and I'm not done, I just started looking, 10% of them have the same bloodline. The monarchy in today in England, they determine who's king by the same bloodline. All presidents are the same bloodline. And you're telling me, and this bloodline goes from back to England, back 1,000 years, back to the first kings of everything, like 1,000, 2,000, 1,300 years ago, these kings going back, even further than that. I just take, that's the furthest I've gone back, but I know they'll go back even further. The same bloodline's been going on for the same, for thousands of years. It's always about a bloodline. It always was about a bloodline. It started out with a bloodline. Way back when a society was like 50 people, it was 100 people. It was about a bloodline. You had a chief, and his kids became chief, and those kids became chief, and you also had a medicine man. And his kids became medicine man, and those kids became medicine man. Just like in the Bible, you have Moses, right? He was the leader. He was the king. He got his bloodline through Abraham. And who was the prophet at the time? Aaron. Oh, his brother. Yeah, and his kids. So the bloodline is from Abraham. This side of the kids get the they get the leadership or kingship. And then this side gets the prophecy. And they're both related, like brothers, or, and it's like, really? No one sees this. No one sees this? Am I really the only one that sees this? That is crazy that he just actually said that the Roman Republic fell and the Roman Empire rose, and it was completely different people. Caesar was running this place, the Roman Republic, and then the Roman Empire came, and it was his nephew, Octavius, or whatever he said his name was. He took over. It's the same bloodline. Never fell. The empire fell, but not the bloodline, not the monarchy. The monarchy stays. No matter what you do to society, the monarchy stays there, because you're all a bunch of morons and you refuse to look at facts. Hey, you hate facts. Your facts are just racist to you people.
The emperor, a system that would persist for the rest of Roman history. The first of these emperors was a grandnephew of Julius Caesar named Octavian, later known as Augustus once he becomes emperor. His rule marks the death of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. It might seem that Rome's special mixed constitution only temporarily managed to arrest the turning of the ANACYCLOSIS wheel, and that in the end, the Roman Republic fell prey to all the usual ills predicted by Polybius's scheme. But regardless of how closely you think the Roman Republic followed the ANACYCLOSIS paradigm, there is no doubt that it does offer a useful and provocative method for analyzing history. The basic question that it poses regarding whether or not civilizations are doomed to fall is a timeless one that all states, including modern ones, have to confront.
What we're looking at here is famouskin.com. Okay, this is the King Charles, King today. King Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers. One, two, three, four, 5 of the 7 kings. Camilla Parker Bowles, that's the Queen Consort of the UK right now, England. Queen Consort means that she is basically the first lady to the king. King Charles III is king today. This is his wife. If King Charles died tomorrow, she wouldn't be the Queen Consort. She wouldn't be the first lady. She would be the actual queen. Taking over the place of King Charles. So anyways, this is his second wife. So let's look at here. Mary Stuart, Queen of the Scots. That's one of the 7 crowns. And here's the other 5 crowns. William the Conqueror, King Louis VI, King Robert I, Alfred the Great, and Charlemagne. Now that was the Queen of England right now. This is Princess Diana, the first wife, right? That was the second wife. This is the first wife of King Charles III. He used to be Prince Charles, remember? And his mom was the queen. This was his wife at the time. Let's see if what her relationship is to these 7 crowns. Again, direct descendant. Mary Stuart is one of them. Here's 5 more. Charlemagne, Alfred the Great, King Robert I, King Louis VI. That's right. She's got King Edward I and King Henry III. Now this is how the monarchy is set up in England. This is how you pick your king and queen. Who's king and queen? By these bloodlines, right? Keeping in mind, if we go onto every site, I could show you pretty much every president except for about 6 of them are all royal. The same royal bloodline. Here's the first president, George Washington, King Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers, and of course 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the kings, which means he's cousins to the last 2 remaining kings. How about the second president, right? We'll do his wife, Abigail Adams. Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 7 kings. How about the third president? Thomas Jefferson. Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 7 kings. How about the fourth president? James Madison. Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers, and of course 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 7 kings. How about the 6th? We're going to skip the 5th, okay, because he's a puppet. He's not a royal. John Quincy Adams. Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the kings. How about the 9th? We're going to skip the 7th and 8th. So we got to go onto a bunch of sites if I show you every president. You know what I mean? I'm going to stay on this one site. Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 7 kings. He's missing Louis VI. How about the 9th president, or 12th? That was the 9th. Let's go up to the 12th. We're going to skip a couple here. Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the kings. Okay, this is the, that was the 12th. This is the 4th president's wife. Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the kings, 7 kings. How about the 18th president? And I want you to notice from now on, we're just going to go through every freaking president. We're not going to miss any of them, okay? Every one we're going to go through, okay? 18th president, Ulysses S. Grant. He's got one of the Magna Carta signers. He's only got Charlemagne, Alfred the Great, and Robert III. Keep in mind, just because they only show 3 kings, he could be direct descendants to all 7 kings for all I know. It just ain't showing up on this site. But he's got at least 3 of the 7 kings. The other 4 he is a cousin to. That was the 18th president. Let's go to the 19th president. Couple Magna Carta signers. You got Charlemagne. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the kings. Louis the whatever, it's going to be a cousin, just like here. So you got King Edward, he's cousin. If they're not on it as direct descendants, they're cousins. Okay, so what was this? We did the 18th, we did the 19th, now let's do the 20th president's wife. Let's see here. Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 7 kings. He's missing Louis VI again. Louis VI is the, he's not as important as those other 4. All right, so we did 18, 19. How about the 20th president's wife, right? We got 1 Magna Carta signer here, and we've got 1, 2, 3 of the 7 kings. 3 of the 7 kings. Okay, how about the 20? We did the 21st. How about the 22nd president? King Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the kings. How about the 23rd? Right, we just did the 22nd. How about the 23rd president? King Edward I, Henry III. Bunch of Magna Carta signers. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's missing Louis VI, which means he's a cousin with them. How about the 23rd? Wait. We just did the 23rd. Okay, let's do the 24th president. Grover Cleveland. He was the 24th and the 26th. So what do we got? Edward I, Henry III. Bunch of Magna Carta signers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the kings. 7 kings. Okay, well, how about the 26th president, right? King Edward I, Henry III. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the kings. Now that was the 26th president. Let's go to the 27th president's wife. No, actually. Now, we just did the 26th president, Theodore Roosevelt. Let's do both of his wives. Not just one of his wives. Let's do both of his wives, okay? Edith, the Magna Carta signer, and 1, 2 of the 7 kings. The other 5, she's cousins to. Here's Theodore Roosevelt's other wife. Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 7 kings. Now that was the 26th president and both of his wives. Here's the 27th president. Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta signers, and of course 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 7 kings. President Taft's wife. Bunch of Magna Carta signers. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 7 kings, and they're cousins if they're not. See, these Henry III and Edward I. This is a great uncle, grand uncle. This is a first cousin. See, they're all related, even if I'm just naming the direct descendants. Okay. Okay. Well, Woodrow Wilson is definitely a royal. He's a big time royal. But on this site, it doesn't show up on it, so I'm going to do both of his wives. Not one of his wives, both of his wives. Here's the first one. Edward I, Henry III, bunch of Magna Carta